Coach, congratulations winning both games of the back-to-back, both putting up 100 points, big offensive days on Friday and Saturday. So talk about your offense as a whole and how proud you were this weekend.
Well, I was excited today that the guys came out with energy. I was a little concerned. I mean, coming off back-to-back and a quick turnaround on a team like Lee's who pushed it so much, and King is really good in transition. So I was a little concerned with our initial energy when the game got started, but I actually thought we started pretty well. With fast-paced games like that, getting up and down, a lot of possessions, we kind of just preach to the guys sometimes of just playing basketball. You can kind of overthink that. And with teams like that, if you start over-processing plays, they are so good at pressuring the ball or pressuring passes that you're just going to create more turnovers for your team. So we kind of just give them simple instructions and just said try to get out in transition, and when you have opportunities, attack. And I thought for the most part, other than some 4-minute segments, I thought we were pretty good at it.
Yeah, I thought this was one of the more complete games this season the team's played. You had tons of blocks on the defensive end. Offense looked really good. And then the team was over the 50 mark in rebounds as a team. So talk about what that means and your pride in that.
Well, they have such good shooters at King. I mean, that lefty 10, I mean, I know he only won for 6 tonight, but I think he's one of the best shooters I've seen in a while. He fires it. And so we try to make it a point of emphasis that it's kind of one of those situations you just can't let him catch. If he catches, he's probably going to make it. And they have a couple other guys that do the same thing. So, we try to emphasize, we have kind of our defensive identity, and then we try to adjust it for games, not change it, but adjust it per games. And I thought our guys did a good job adjusting to what we were trying to do in this game. And then, rebounding, that's just kind of been, it's part of our DNA. So we try to do that every possession. And, a lot of times the best way to try to get teams out of transition is to try to rebound. And so we kind of put that as an emphasis to make sure, because King is so good in transition, if you don't get back or get an offensive rebound, they're probably going to get a score out of it. So I thought our guys did a pretty good job being able to take those instructions from our staff and kind of applying them to the game for the most part.
Yeah, and the points in the paint total was astronomical in difference between the two teams. I think you guys doubled their points in the paints plus some. Spencer, obviously a big part of that in the first half, getting a lot of passes in the paint. Was that kind of the mindset coming into this one, trying to work him inside?
Well, really, most games, trying to get the ball to Spence. He shoots such a high percentage, and he makes such good decisions with the basketball. I mean, he had 4 assists, 0 turnovers. I mean, if there was one growth that he's had in his game, is he's really passing the ball better than he was in the previous years, and he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. So, I think regardless of matchup, we try to get the ball inside to him. Usually good things happen whenever Spencer gets the ball in there. And like I said, I mean, it's not just Spencer. I mean, Jakari's pretty efficient in the post. Dion, even Nate at times is pretty efficient. So we got some guys that are efficient getting the ball to the paint. But, we try to make it a point of emphasis to not only get the ball to those guys, but also attack the paint off the dribble. Once you attack the paint off the dribble, it kind of opens up the offensive end of the floor. So we really harped on our guards not to settle, to keep attacking. And I thought, except for like a segment there at the start of the second half or in the first half, I thought they did a pretty good job of executing that.
Yeah, and then Jordan, back-to-back 20-point games, and he was money from 3 tonight. So talk about what it means to have him in his groove, especially going into the middle of the season, I should say.
Well, it's huge. I mean, Jordan, Ratliff, Snipe, however you want to call him. I mean, he's kind of our heart and soul at times. And when he's making shots, he's on a whole nother level, and it creates so much more space for everybody else to attack those driving lanes and get the ball inside whenever he's stretching the defense like that. And, I mean, you love to see him playing with that kind of confidence and swagger, and we can only hope that not only does it continue for him, but it kind of trickles down to guys. I mean, Bradley Haskell was 2 for 5 tonight. That's a great for him. That's pretty big. And other guys, because the more we're able to shoot the basketball and make shots, which we're a good shooting team, we just haven't really shown it yet on the court. And that's hopefully something that continues to improve as we get further in the season.
Yeah, and then the big break, 8 days until the next game. So what's the approach? Is it more of rest, centered on rest for the next 8 days, or are you going to try and get your practices in as much as you can?
No, it's kind of a combination of both. I mean, back-to-back days is brutal, so we're going to give them a couple days off, and finals week next week. I mean, there's as important that it is that we get better on the floor. There's a lot of things off the floor that we've got to improve at. So that was a big emphasis of what we just discussed, is making sure we take care of business off the floor. So there's nothing that would get in the way of our season that we can't control, that might derail kind of our trajectory. Hopefully that continues to go up.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.